And so, you know, the other thing I was proud of it, actually I have my twin brother here with me today. He was not a member of the fraternity until that time. That was his last semester in college. So he actually joined as part of the Zeta class and got initiated that fall as part of the Zeta class before we got our charter. So I was very proud to have him join us too. We had also won Greek Week again that year, and that was our second time. And then we won for the third time. That was my last semester here was in the spring of '98. I mean, the spring of '88. So we won the third time. So 3 years in a row, we had pretty good success back then. So that was a lot of fun. So I'm trying to think of a few other things that might be interesting to you guys. I actually have some old. I went through my attic and found some old stuff that I'd actually forgotten about. One of these things, here's a picture. Is the Tech Collegiate still around now?
Yes.
Yes. It is?
Yep.
Okay. Here's one from April 28, 1988. It says, Phi Kappa Tau, dominate Greek Week. So, so I found that. I had that in a box in my attic. That was pretty cool. I also found that purchasing the fraternity house was kind of interesting because when we first got the house, we just leased it. We rented it out. So by the spring of '88, my last semester, I wanted to actually work out a deal to purchase the house. Didn't want to just keep renting forever. So I put together a letter to Father Jacobs, and I put together a proposal that we would buy the house at 4% interest over a 20-year plan, a 20-year payment plan. So I sent this letter to Father Jacobs to purchase the house, and soon after that, I got a letter back from his attorney, and he said, "Dear Mr. Murphy, thank you for your offer to purchase the house. However, we cannot accept a 20-year payment plan at 4% interest. I doubt if Father Jacobs will live another 20 years. Okay, well, I guess I didn't really think about that. So, what do we do now? So I don't actually remember all the details, but we kept negotiating back and forth. And I think by finally in October of that year, October '98, we actually signed the purchase agreement where we would buy the house at 0% interest, which is, I don't know, I'm sure how we got him to agree to that, but he did. 0% interest over a 13-year period and at payments of $550 a month. We would only pay 10 months out of the year. We wouldn't pay during the two of the summer months because we wouldn't have any income coming in. But that was the agreement that we got signed back then. And for 70, I think it was 70 or 71,500 was the purchase agreement. So I know, so the house that you guys kept paying, I think hopefully it's paid off now, right? It's probably, I know you guys had to do a lot of work for the heating and a lot of other things over the years too, the alarm system. But so that roof has, I mean, the house has taken a lot of work. I remember it seemed like the very first semester we moved in, it was leaking. We had to get it from top of the roof and spread tar to keep it from leaking. So I remember doing that. And then I remember after I graduated, John was still the executive director. And then I don't remember all the details, John, but there was something to do about liability coverage. We needed to get liability coverage, and we had to get the house inspected. And so they had this company out of Kentucky. There was an insurance and risk management company that came in and did an inspection of the house. And I actually found this report in my attic, which I thought this was back in 1989. So here are some of the comments in there. Some of those I found kind of interesting. He said, in this report, there doesn't seem to be anyone in charge of general repair, housekeeping, or other maintenance. It said repairs, when made, appear to be made by non-professionals. Obviously. It said plumbing is old and shows signs of leaking. Plumbing shows no signs of any updating. Well, that's definitely a true statement. But the other thing, though, that in this report that was sent to me and to the national headquarters, it said no special hazards. It said my contact at the fraternity stated that there were no open non-member parties held at the house. Yeah. It said, but at the time of inspection, which was Halloween, the basement floor had dried leaves on it, and a stone representing a graveyard. Said there was cheesecloth hanging on wires on the first floor in the basement representing a long, dark, winding hallway, and all were highly flammable. So after this, I had to write a letter to John at National Headquarters explaining how we were going to fix all these problems. So, yeah, so this guy, here, he didn't say who his contact was, but here his contact was, adamantly stated there were no non-member parties held at the house. But so after we graduated, one of the things I look back and regret on, I did stay active for a few years, and I encourage you guys to really, try to stay active in the fraternity. I moved away. I now live in Huntsville, Alabama. I've been living there for 14 years. I have a beautiful wife, a son that's 16 years old, will be 17 in just a couple of weeks. But it's easy to when you get away to not stay involved. And I encourage all of you guys to really stay involved. Because it does, the experiences we had and the brothership and the fellowship you create here really means a lot. So I encourage everyone to really stay involved. But we tried for a few years, Kenny. I remember we had to form a graduate council. I don't know if you remember that. We had our first meeting. I think it was the fall of '88. We came back. We had our first meeting. And Kenny actually found minutes of the meeting.
Did you really?
Yeah, signed by Kenny Boswell. And one of the things back then was, and almost done. So by the way, one of the things back then was risk management. I don't know, was this something maybe, John, that you had started, or but that was a big topic back then. It was all about risk management.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Still is.
Yeah, it still is. So hopefully we're a little older and wiser than we are now, Kenny. But here's what we had in the meeting. It said Perry Murphy discussed the risk management policy and the possible effects upon the fraternity system as a whole. And then it says a motion was passed, and this must have been Kenny's idea. It said a motion was passed that the graduate council members would purchase a keg of beer and monitor the consumption in an effort to provide a good example to the rest of the council of the proper way to conduct a party under risk management policy guidelines.
Man, that's sound thinking right there.
Yeah, that was a really good idea. But I'm sure there was more of the risk management, the purchasing the keg and showing how to consume it properly. But I'm going to blame that on Kenny. I promise you that. But, there had to be some better idea we could have come up with, Kenny. That's what you had in your minutes, so that's what happened. So just in conclusion, what did being in the fraternity mean to me? I obviously remember all the great times we had. We had obviously great parties. We had great fellowship. A number of these guys are here with me today. But being in a fraternity, obviously, it taught me a lot of life lessons, professionally and personally, that I've been very valuable to me over the years. One of the things I think was perseverance. From '84 through '87, there were a lot of ups and downs during that time. Getting new recruits, and then people going away, graduating, having to get more recruits, and there was conflict. It wasn't always smooth. There was a conflict. Learning, I'm sure Daniel, you see this conflict management when you're leading a group is part of this. But definitely perseverance and just going through this and achieving that goal of achieving our charter from the National Fraternity. That was a great accomplishment that we were all very proud of, and still are today. But things like leadership, communication skills, organizational structure. And all of those lessons have really benefited me over the years, and I know they will all of you too. So I really look back fondly over those years, and it's really great to be back here with everyone. I've really enjoyed it, and wish to all of you guys the best of luck going forward. And again, really thank you for putting this together this week. Okay, thanks.